Surrounding the death of Nolan Wells brought supporters together on Sunday as family members, friends, and community leaders called for transparency in the investigation. They say their focus is not on blame, but on finding the truth and standing with Wells' family as they seek answers. Patrick Wright has more.
The goal of today's protest, I feel like, would be just to say his name.
Yes, sir, Nolan Wilson.
For me, this means a whole lot because I have my kids in this community too.
Hey, Nolan Wilson.
I'm a mom, I have 2 sons, so it hit home for me.
Nolan Wells could have easily been my grandson.
Yes, sir, Nolan.
I feel like today's testament is that we want answers. It's not about vengeance, it's not about accusations, it's about the truth and it's about transparency.
We're gonna stand behind the family, and that's why we're out here.
No peace!
A lot of times, these stories go unnoticed.
Because Nolan Wells is not the only one. There has been a long historic string of young black men losing their life under very suspicious circumstances.
I am the family of Emmett Till. And my family is here in support of what's going on because this young man should not be dead.
No justice! No peace!
So I know him personally as a kid before he went out to college. It's hard in this generation to find kids that still say yes sir, no sir.
Nolan Wilson!
And when he came to me and wanted to work, he said, you know, my mom and dad told me I gotta get my own money. And I said, but when you go out to college, I want you to make good choices and decisions to set you up for a lifetime. And he said, yes, sir. That says a lot about his home life. It says a lot about his parents, and it says a lot about him. The things that he did while he was here on earth, it left a statement in a place in a lot of people's heart. Life is precious, no matter what color you are.
That's a fact.
We just need to get to the facts of what really happened. That's really what it's about, the facts. It's not about the color of the skin, it's about sticking to the facts of whatever it is. And if it's something that happened as a mistake, then just let's speak about it. Let's talk about it. That's it. I'd just like to say to him and his soul, man, rest in peace. And we always love you, man. And you did everything you could while you was here. And you did a great job. That's it.
So as we know, the whole country is talking about the Nolan Wells situation. We know that Nolan Wells on the 4th of July went out on a boat with 3 of his friends and he never returned. His friends returned. The family had to, go and put a tracking device to get the phone back. They found out that there was a lot of stuff erased. There's a lot of rumors going around. There's pictures saying that he was alive and well on at a party on July 5th. Some people say that he was allegedly beaten. Colin Kaepernick and a lot of the stars and entertainers down there donating money for his funeral, for them to do an autopsy. There's a lot of things going on in regards to this case. But before this case, we had the Carmelo Anthony case, right? And it garnered national attention, but a lot of the powerhouses didn't get behind Carmelo, and they allowed him to be railroaded and sentenced to 35 years, right? Now I'm going somewhere with this, because with this Nolan Wells case, there are so many other cases in Mississippi, North Texas, Miami, Florida, and also Michigan, where you had black people that was either went out with W folks and end up drowning or was lynched from trees. The first guy we're going to talk about is in Mississippi. And this brother will be Trey Reed.
So the second autopsy has been completed for Trey Reed. And if you don't remember, Trey Reed was found hanging from a tree at Delta State University in Mississippi shortly after CK was. Authorities were very quick to rule that Trey Reed took his own life, and it was very suspicious. So actually, Colin Kaepernick funded a second independent autopsy, and those results are now in. Here are a few things that the first autopsy conveniently left out. It appears as though Reed suffered blunt force trauma on the back of his head, and that was not in the first report. Also, the belt that was found and used on Reed was 3 sizes too big for him, so it would not have been his belt. And the injuries around his neck were reported to not be consistent with a self-unaliving of that form. It was also not reported that he was found on a part of campus that was conveniently known for not having cameras. It was also neglected to be told to everybody that he had gotten in an altercation a few days prior with a group of white students over the death of CK. So putting that all together, does it still really look like he took his own life? No, it doesn't. It looks like somebody's covering up what happened to him.
Now, they had initially ruled that a suicide and said that he took his life on September 15th, 2025, right? But he didn't. Now, once Colin Kaepernick funded, they did the second autopsy and found out that he had blunt force trauma to the back of his head, right? And it was a suicide. But down in Mississippi, they're sweeping everything under the rug and trying to hide everything. Then you get the Channon Zucatis, another incident down there in Mississippi.
All right, guys, we already heard about Trey Reed over at Delta State University that was hanging from a tree. Now we have another one that happened at around 1:30 this afternoon, and his name was Cory Zucatis. And this happened in Vicksburg, Mississippi. And they said that at around 1:30 p.m., officers with the Vicksburg Police Department received a call. And when they arrived, Cory, he was hanging from a wooded area in the 4100 block of Washington Street. And this was near the Ameristar Casino. I did a little bit more digging and saw Cory is originally from Deltona, Florida. And he's living with, I think, his stepfather in Brandon. Cory was homeless in that area. This is being treated as a death investigation. And I'm telling you now, these are not just random, okay? These are not random. These right here seem like they're targeted. People actually did this to somebody. That's how I feel because, yeah, the milk stinks and the water stinks. And I saw the other picture that was being passed around, and I was like, wait a minute, I covered that story because he was unalived by some people who he thought was his friends. I covered that maybe almost a month ago. But look, it's time to keep our heads on swivel, you guys. And it don't matter who you are. It don't matter what color you are. Man, that dark cloud is going around and it's getting people. Hopefully they find out what happened to Cory and they find out what happened to Trey, because both of them right there, the milk stinks and the water stinks. And we want to get justice for both of them. I'll bring you more as soon as I find out more.
But we still in Mississippi. So then we get to Channon Wilson in Mississippi. Y'all remember the 13-year-old that was found unalive, right? And the person that did the autopsy on his body is the same person that did the autopsy that's doing the autopsy on these other people down there in Mississippi. I want the people to speak, Mississippi to speak, because this thing is getting real deep down there in the South, man, down there in Mississippi, man.
Channon Wilson, a 13-year-old boy. Friends pushed him in the creek in Mississippi. Guess who was the medical examiner who covered it up? Ding, 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 ding. Stacy fucking Turner again. Crump, this is 0 for 3 for Stacy. The brother of this kid just came in my inbox. Stacy Turner told this family that they don't perform autopsies on drowning victims. So this family again had to pay out of pocket, bring their child to a different state for a private autopsy. Stacy Turner, you are public enemy number 1 in my book.
And then we get to an Illinois black man, Gerard Jackson. Now this man, he was with a bunch of W's. He rode up to Michigan to go to like this electric concert or something. And we're hearing that there was an altercation between him and maybe one of the guys. And he ended up being found in the woods hanging from a tree. Now he turned up missing June 29th. And it wasn't getting a lot of media like that, right? But all this stuff going on right now, we're making America great again, right? I had to go back into my old content of what I used to do. And this video, I'm sure, ain't going to get a lot of views, right? The algorithm ain't going to pump it, but I still got to do right by the people and report this stuff on what they're doing to our people across the country, man. But this guy turned up missing, man, and he ended up dangling from a tree.
Another black man was found dead in a wooded area. And you'll never imagine what the police is classifying this as. Yep, you guessed it, a suicide. His name was Gerard Jackson. He was 28 out of Illinois. And apparently, he and his white friends, he's another token black kid or black man, who rented a truck and drove he and all of his white friends down to the Electric Forest Music Festival. And apparently, he got into an altercation with somebody in the group of friends earlier that day. And the police had to be called over to the incident. Now, his friends are telling his parents and his family that he had a mental health crisis and that he left off of their campground site following that crisis, right? So, again, his body was then mysteriously found in a wooded area At that festival, they haven't done any further investigation. They're simply taking his white friend's word for it, and they're classifying it as a suicide. I am so sick and tired of telling the same story every single day, every single week. I'm just sick and tired of it. And for the people that keep saying I'm race baiting, I'm race baiting, I'm race baiting, what else is it? I haven't heard not Nan's story about all of this black on black crime y'all keep talking about. I'm not seeing the stories where black people are going out of town with their black friends and ended up drowning and not making it back to shore off of boats, not making it back from music festivals. I'm just not seeing those stories. So I'm not even trying to hear that. All I'm saying is I'm sick and tired of the same narrative. I'm sick and tired of white people being able to murder our children and get away with it. Black people do not drown themselves. Black people do not stay behind on boats by themselves. Black people definitely do not lynch themselves. Ask me how many people I know that are black that walk around with ropes hanging in their pocket, waiting to go to a wooded area of a forest to hang themselves. Zero. It's just not happening. Stop killing our children. We are pissed off and we are not okay and we are sick and tired of it. And we're not just going to sit back and continue to let it happen.
So then we get to Tonia Miller, and we know that they found her body June 18th of this year, hanging from a tree down in Miami. And what did they say? Mental health again. Well, she might have committed suicide. All these people had mental health issues, and they may have committed suicide, right? But the family ain't trying to hear that. The family is saying, man, ain't no way in the world, man, my daughter committed no damn suicide, right? But they putting this stuff out, man, and it's being reported. This stuff is coming in from all over the country, man. And there's way more stories than this.
The death of a Michigan woman in South Florida has gained a lot of attention online. Now, a family member is pleading for answers after deputies say that they found her sister dead near Gwen Cherry Park in Miami-Dade County last week. Detectives say that their investigation found no evidence of foul play and say that it appears that she died by suicide. A woman's sister, however, strongly disputes that.
If anybody knew that my sister Tonia Nicole, that's the last thing she would do. That's the last thing she's thinking about. She loved life too much.
Deputies say Tonia's body was found last Thursday morning. Investigators say her belongings were with her and they found no signs of violence. Over the past week, Miller's death has drawn growing attention on social media. Today, the NAACP and community leaders called for transparency in the investigation. The Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office attended today's news conference to say that the case is closed, though they say that they will review any credible new information brought forward.
Based on the totality of the evidence gathered, during this investigation, detectives found no evidence that Ms. Miller's death was the result of foul play. We understand that this does not lessen the grief of those that loved Ms. Miller, nor does it erase the difficult questions that often follow a tragic loss.
Experts say mental health struggles can be complex and are not always visible to others. If you or someone you know is struggling, help is available by calling or texting 988, the Suicide and Crisis Line.
And last but not least, we take a trip down to North Texas where young brother Daniel, he was unalive some years back, and the family is finally getting justice from this W. Now, he went out on a boating trip that was supposed to be a nice trip between friends, some pals, some chums, and he ended up unalived.
We have a major break tonight to tell you about in the death of a North Texas teen. It was supposed to be a fun day of fishing for 3 young men at Lake Ray Hubbard. Instead, it turned deadly after the group jumped in to swim, and 18-year-old Daniel Irving never resurfaced. Now, months later, police have arrested a 19-year-old they say tried to cover up and hide what actually happened that day. Fox 4's Alex Boyer picks up our top story from there.
According to Dallas police, text messages prove that the victim and suspect knew each other and had made plans to meet up and go to a lake back in April. Now, the victim, Daniel Irving, never came home. His mom reported him missing. It wasn't until nearly 3 months after his body was recovered that police have made an arrest in connection to the case. 19-year-old Lucas Roper is accused of tampering with evidence in connection to the drowning death of 18-year-old Daniel Irving in Lake Ray Hubbard back in April. Irving's body was discovered on April 17th, 4 days after he is believed to have drowned. Irving had reportedly gone to the lake with Roper and a juvenile suspect to swim and go fishing. Irving's family said then that they wanted a full and transparent investigation. On July 9th, Roper was arrested by Dallas police on one count of tampering with physical evidence. According to an arrest warrant affidavit, Roper was interviewed by detectives after Irving's body was found. Roper told police after the three of them had jumped into the lake from the railroad track bridge, Irving drowned and Roper panicked. Instead of calling 911, the affidavit states Roper told investigators he deleted all communication with Daniel Irving from his cell phone, adding that Roper confirmed he was aware that there would be an investigation into Daniel Irving's death and he did not want to get into trouble, and states Roper threw Daniel Irving's clothes in the tree line as they fled the location. The juvenile suspect also told investigators he admitted he threw Daniel Irving's cell phone from the vehicle after suspect Roper told him to.
Daniel was our protector, and I have nothing but good things to say about him. He was a good kid, and he just didn't deserve that.
Roper was booked into the Dallas County Jail. I can tell you that his bond has been set at $10,000. Now, we don't know the status of the juvenile suspect. Because he is a minor, Dallas police are not releasing any additional information.
So that situation happened on April 13, 2026 with Daniel Irving, and they just made an arrest July 9th, right? Now, people out here will tell you, they would use mind screwing you, use reverse psychology and tell you it's not about race. Everything in this country is about race. Don't let them play with you like that. It's for sure it's about race. Everything here is black and white, right? And they handle it that way. Because in all of these cases, if you reverse it around the other way, the whole world would stop. It would be the end of the world. They would not go for it, right? Because remember, they was able to unalive black people with impunity, just to be able to do whatever they want all the way up until the 70s. They was getting away with unaliving us, man, wholesale. We got almost over 5,000 documented lynchings where nobody paid the price for it in this country. But they act like, they want to act like people just supposed to forget about that and move on. Why? Why? There's never been any form of recompense. We should look at everything in a form of black and white because we ain't the one that created it. We are not the people that created this racial construct. They did. They created it and they never did anything to fix it. But they feel like they can use mind games with you and play with your mind and get you to say, well, it's not about race. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because when they heard us do harm to us, we got to go to the same people. We got to go to the same people that have a history of harming us to get justice. We got to go to those same people. So, listen, man, y'all gotta let me know what y'all think, man. What's y'all opinion on this? If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV. Leave your comments in the comment section. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.